Today we're going to be making a 60% hydration Motherdough Pre-Ferment. I'll be mixing it up and then storing it in the refrigerator so I can use it in a few days. So we are going to be starting with 100 grams of 100% hydration sourdough starter. It was fed just last night and it's real nice and vigorous. 220 grams of water. Let me stir that. And 400 grams of flour. I'm using bread flour because I want the Motherdough to stand up really well while it's fermenting in the refrigerator. Bread flour allows the Motherdough to last longer. So we're adding 400 grams of bread flour. So there we have 400 grams of bread flour, and we'll stir that up. Now, if you were planning to use this Motherdough tomorrow, then you could either leave it out 24 hours at room temperature and use it, or you could let it ferment for a couple hours today, put it in the refrigerator, and then take it and use it tomorrow. I'm planning to mix up my dough on Monday and bake on Tuesday. So I will allow this Motherdough to go directly into the refrigerator because I'm not going to be using it for 2 days. Now, the Motherdough is good for 2 to 3 days if you're going to be using it as the source of your leaven to rise your bread. But if you're just going to be using it for added flavor and you have an additional source of yeast like another starter or commercial yeast, then it will last as long as it has strength or stretch. Once it breaks down into a gluey substance, it's no longer good. It will make your dough slack. So get your hand in there and work it really well. It's a real low hydration. Low hydration pre-ferments have more strength than the wet pre-ferments. They have a higher concentration of yeast and bacteria, and they also absorb CO2 into the dough, and that's brought into your final dough. You get a really good oven spring when you use a dry starter. A very common starter is a 50%, a La Vito Madre or a Biga at 50%, and sometimes they're made with commercial yeast, and they're even stiffer than this. But I like working with the 60% Motherdough, especially for people that are learning to bake. It's just a little easier to work with. A little easier to pull apart and to add to their dough. If you don't use bread flour, if you use an all-purpose flour or a weak flour, your dough ball is going to be a little more slack than this. The more protein in the flour, the more it will absorb the water. Okay, now I'm going to put that in the refrigerator and I'm going to let it ferment for 2 days. In which time I'm going to use it. This Motherdough is 720 grams at 60% hydration, and it will be enough for 1 to 3 different types of formulas depending upon what formulas you're using. So I'm going to put that into the refrigerator and let it ferment. To feed a Motherdough starter, you would take the Motherdough that's left over after you've used it for your formula, and you would make up a corresponding amount of Motherdough at 60% hydration, which would be every 100 grams of flour, you would add 60 grams of water. And then you would just take and knead that into your remaining Motherdough.